That food's not for sale.
You ever done hard time? You've been somebody's.
Don't even get with the name, but that's our room.
Yeah.
Nobody has to know. Erase that.
That was a sweetheart.
Okay.
You like Gyro too, right?
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
You be dancing to that.
I'm not dancing to that.
You be liking that.
Y'all don't sit up here and act like y'all didn't know Ja Rule and P. Diddy was sleeping around.
Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they bust naked.
Ja Rule is a diva. I mean,
I got you, dog.
never, ever. By him being a homo, you know he be too, right?
No.
Some styling his clothes and shit. I got the inside information.
Since selfish behavior is genuinely unbeatable. Let's just say that this man's recently released footage of Ja Rule and Diddy shows that DMX was correct about Ja. If you don't know what X stated, he essentially suggested that Ja was on the DL and even revealed Ja's affair with his male stylist.
His clothes for one of them shows, got him ecstasy up one night and him.
No, dog.
Yeah, Ja Rule was tell you, dog.
Since he and I had a severe dispute in the past, no one took DMX seriously when he was stating all of these things. Instead, they assumed X was trolling. However, now that Fid is supporting what X claimed with real footage, it's as messy as it sounds. So let's get started.
Right.
Like, I don't have nothing to prove to anybody.
No.
I just want people to understand my.
Fiddy Cent recently rekindled his feud with Ja Rule by leaking a clip of Ja partying with Diddy. Now, Fiddy is claiming he's going to release something even more bizarre in his upcoming Diddy documentary. According to Fiddy's staff, Fiddy wants to dispel the old claims that, in case you're unaware, DMX exposed Ja for having an affair with his male stylist, which is the subject of Fiddy Cent's documentary. Ja was on the DL and hooking up with various men in the industry. And these rumors weren't merely from a random source. Ja and DMX were at odds at the time. An X claimed that Ja was hiding behind his label boss Gotti rather than facing him head-on. This incident occurred in the early 2000s when he went on a radio broadcast and attacked Ja for being a fraud.
Well, man, Gotti's my
Right.
I'm saying, me and Gotti, you know what I'm saying? So, what he really need to do is just shut the mind his business for a minute, you feel me?
Okay.
It ain't got nothing to do with him right now, man. All murder inc. This is between me and Ja. Now, if Ja can't handle his own beef, then I understand. I mean, if he think, you know, need help, then I understand. But other than that, man, he need to just shut the mind his business, man, for real, man. And that's when I'm gonna drop this song called Rules Out, because I'm just sick of when he sounded like me. I'm sick of niggas all in my face, he need a fake type nigga, you know what I mean? I'm just sick of all that. You know, I can't hold it in but for so long. Because I'm tired every time I have an interview, or every time I'm on the street, somebody asks me, what's up with him? Sounding like me, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, I did it the respectful way, dog. I went to Gotti first. Like, yo, you know, word on the street, you know, your man. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's out here, man. He's in denial, you know what I'm saying? The whole way, he was in denial. Well, that's what happens when you know what I'm saying?
However, that was not the end of it. It went further and asserted that he was positive that Ja had slept with his male stylist.
Don't touch on this, or just like you just going at him.
By him being a homo, you know he be too, right?
No.
Yeah, man. Styling his clothes and shit. I got the inside information, man. Some styling his clothes for one of them shows, got him ecstasy up one night and him.
No, dog.
Yeah, Ja Rule was tell you, dog. Oh my mama. Me at himself. He said, yeah, I was with Ja, you know what I'm saying? And you know, he was all ecstasy up, so he...
What?
Whoa.
What?
It's crazy. Yeah, man. Walk around with a bag of them pills, man. Talk about me, you can't be serious. That X is everything. Get it? The X is everything. Ah, kill me.
Yo, this is a big statement you making here, man. You throw it.
Yeah, man, Ja Rule. Straight up, he's...
This is...
Once you give your man Ja Rule some X, and he'll...
He understood what he knew and wasn't scared to say it like it is. You know what else he said? Around this time, he went on another radio show and babbled about rappers who are looking to get a deal with executives.
Industry, what's going down with the industry, dog?
The industry is full of a bunch of and riding, bending over the desk ass straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it. Bring it. I don't give a bring it. Bring it. They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play they right. You know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executives. It's like there's too much of that going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, sitting at the going to dinner with them and that, and all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my.
That's all. The bizarre thing is that this interview was conducted around the time that Ja was having a lot of parties with Diddy. However, this is where things start to get weird, because just before DMX appeared on the radio and said he had evidence that Ja had slept with his male stylist, we didn't learn of this incident until much later, when Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, revealed that John and Diddy were having a freakout in a hotel. On the same day that Diddy went to buy some sexual toys, Gene claimed he allegedly went shopping for adult toys with Diddy in Atlanta. And later that same day, Diddy took a plane to North Carolina to test the items at a hotel party with Ja Rule.
He was just putting stuff in to go in that room.
If this were a one-time allegation, we would be able to disregard it. But over the years, reports about Ja have continued to surface. For example, Jaguar Wright earlier criticized Ja because insulting his wife, accusing him of playing around with men, and get this, Jaguar said Ja was having an affair with his cellmate during his 2-year prison term. Before Diddy entered, Ja was already bound to him, and it is said that he maintained the same intensity with his Psy while he was incarcerated.
I've been so polite with Ja Rule,
Uh-oh.
Like, I've been so polite with that little right there, but with all disrespect, you a punk ass little. How the you gonna go to jail and then turn on your wife for your celly? Like, what kind of does that?
Said he chose his celly over his wife?
He dumped his wife. Yeah, he refused visits, told her not to come. He was right next to Canada. It was a waste of time and money. And then she found the letters of your boo loving up on your cupcake and cellmate, your little fruit. Open your mouth. Tell the truth. Gene was talking about you when he had to throw your cousin up there in the piano. Shit, he did everything but say your name. Why don't you say it? Why don't you say it? You like dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight? The Diddy doo-wop? Looking at it. Are you Illuminati pick-me bitch? Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Sheesh. All right. So along with this whole
Gonna turn on your wife so you can play hide the soap. These got no respect for women. They ain't got no respect for women. Woo, they give birth to your children. They put up with all of your shit. They gotta listen to everybody gossiping about which. And the truth is, and you probably suck.
But the messier part is that Jaguar didn't just make this up. She was based on information directly from Ja's wife, Aisha Atkins. In 2013, Clash magazine revealed that Aisha was scheduled to feature in the MTV documentary Married Life After Prison. And they said that Aisha said in the doc that he wrote all those love songs, and still, it only took him 2 years to decide he would rather be with his wife. And even though this scene was removed from the shot, several media publications at the time claimed that Aisha discussed Ja's extramarital encounters on camera. I'm not sure how to handle a bee. We spent more than 10 years establishing our marriage. This article featured a remark from Aisha about how Ja's release from imprisonment affirmed her that he was having an affair with his personal trainer. And it wasn't until later that she discovered that he was not only a man but also his cellmate in prison. Oh, and the article also implied that Aisha thought Ja had a thing for 50 Cent. Aisha admits that she hopes this is just a phase, but is now convinced that the whole 50 Cent thing was not just a silly rap feud, but much more than a crush. Ja could have just laughed it off and ignored the claims if they were all utterly untrue. But instead, he became very defensive and went on a social media posting binge, making a concerted effort to show that he is now straight. In the end, Ja was able to silence the LGBT rumors at least temporarily, kept things under wraps, concentrated on his wife and business endeavors, and avoided making messy headlines. However, once the Diddy scandal broke, everything came back to the surface and people began searching through old receipts, such as the one that Gene Deal had written about John Diddy in a hotel room. The internet was in full-fledged gossip mode, and to make matters worse, Ja didn't help himself because he actually came up to publicly defend Diddy on March 5, 2024, approximately 2 weeks before Homeland. Security conducted a raid on Diddy's residences and discovered hundreds of free cough tapes. When Piers Morgan addressed Ja directly about Diddy and all the outrageous accusations, Ja seemed extremely embarrassed and delivered a really poor response, simply stating that he supported Diddy, wished Diddy the best. But his description of the situation, calling the accusations unfortunate circumstances, raised some eyebrows because it completely downplayed the serious criminal accusation.
About, I think a guy is a friend of yours, which is P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Coombs. What's your take on what's happening with him?
Again, man, you know, it's another black man in this industry going through some unfortunate, you know, circumstances. And so, you know, I wish him luck as well with everything he's going through. And, you know, you know, and if there's victims in this, you know, I can't speak on things that I don't know about Pierce. And so I try not to. I try to leave those things to those who do that. That's why people have podcasts and stuff like that. They talk about these things back and forth. I don't really get involved with that, but yeah.
And now observe Ja's awful attempt to chuckle off Pierce's small joke about Diddy showing up at his house.
What's up, Fausto? I'm doing an interview, baby. I'm live on TV. I'll check y'all later. I'll come golf with y'all later. Yeah.
Who's that, Diddy?
But who?
Was that Diddy or Fiddy?
Who? Fausto. That's my guy, Fausto. You got jokes, Pierce. I see you got jokes. See, I've never done an interview with you, Pierce, and I don't really watch too many of your interviews, so I don't.
Let's take a moment to consider this. Piers Morgan's joining just 2 weeks prior to the federal agent's raiding Diddy's properties is extremely suspicious because it is hard to understand why a public figure with reputation to defend would appear on international television and, essentially, swear allegiance to Diddy by that time, when the hotel surveillance footage of Diddy assaulting Cassie had already gone viral, proving that this was no longer a tabloid rumor. However, Ja decided to go on record and describe the accusations as unfortunate circumstances, which is definitely suspicious. No decent celebrity would say that unless they were attempting to get ahead of something. So perhaps Ja wasn't just being loyal. Perhaps he was afraid that one of those tapes at Diddy's name was on his house. But now that he knows that Fiddy Cent is going to release a portion of one of those freakout tapes with Ja in his upcoming Diddy documentary, Ja is, once again, in a panic. You would think that in these circumstances, Ja would remain silent and perhaps even hire a lawyer. But instead, he's out there poking the bear and taking shots. In case you missed it, Ja Rule couldn't help but get involved in the drama at Fiddy Online, where Fiddy Cent has been busy making fun of his ex-girlfriend, Daphne Joy, who testified last week as Jade in Diddy's case. According to Jane's testimony, she participated in a number of Diddy's freak-offs, including one strange incident in which she and another well-known rapper and his girlfriend apparently observed Diddy's in the hotel room. A male escort hooks up with a woman. As an aside, there are now rumors that this well-known rapper and his girlfriend are actually Kanye and Bianca. Fiddy even went on Instagram sharing a picture of the two of them along with a statement. That's why he was supporting Diddy. He was out in Vegas with that little dirtbag lol. Ja Rule had nothing to do with this whole situation, but he still chose to jump in and troll Fiddy. He started by posting old pictures of Fiddy and Daphne Joy cuddling on the beach. Although Ja didn't leave a comment, he added a laughing face and facepalm emoji. However, Ja couldn't resist and later went back to troll Fiddy once more, this time responding with a gif of himself to an ex-fan who wrote, Whack 100 tells DJ Academics that this Diddy trial is messing with 50 Cent mentally. This comes after he posted that Kanye West was involved in the freak-offs with his ex. As of right now, Fiddy Cent hasn't responded to Ja, but you already know he will. It's no secret that Fiddy can't stand Ja's entire existence. And he's already made it clear that's his adversary for life. And this is significant since Fiddy always thought Ja was involved in the shooting he did in 2000.
Like Ja Rule too, right?
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
You be dancing to that.
I'm not dancing to that.
You be liking that. Okay. That's not hip hop. That's
If you
R&B
think
shit.
that I'm dancing to that, we can meet in the club tonight and you see what I'm dancing.
Nah, I'm sure you ain't dancing to nobody likes Ja Rule in the States now. Can't make it a show. It's finished.
Therefore, insiders connected to Fiddy's impending Diddy documentary claim that the only reason Fiddy hasn't replied to Assad's recent trolling on social media is because he is keeping the true anger for the documentary. With receipts that purport to go much beyond industry whispers, Fiddy is planning a full-fledged program on Ja and Diddy's extremely tight ties. The segment will include details about Ja's claimed past associations with several Ja. His old cellmate is now disparaging Fiddy on social media. And it seems like he stepped into a trap because Fiddy's documentary reportedly contains actual receipts to support all of the claims about Ja and the DL lifestyle. However, given that other industry professionals are already perspiring, it's possible that Ja Rule isn't the only one in that video, and that things will change for additional people after Fiddy releases his documentary.